Gamers, JRPG fans, Tales fans, today's a cool day because Tales of Grace's F has been remastered. This is one of my favorite Tales games ever, and the combat system is one of the reasons, but it could be a lot and a little tricky for new players, or even if you forgot how everything works and you're just getting back into the remaster. So today I got 10 tips to give you guys to just become absolutely broken and overpowered and basically get your skills up in Tales of Grace's F combat. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Now, the first thing that's really important that I want to highlight is learn to sidestep and perfect dodge in this game. You're not really going to want to guard things, but after you're done attacking, or even if you're not really doing anything, hold the guard down. It's going to charge up a bit of super armor and replenish your CC. Your CC is basically how many times you could swing or use art, so it's how long you can keep your combo going. If you sidestep, front step, any of that in perfect dodge, you're going to get your CC back right away. And again, as you're charging with your guard, you're going to be getting that back up. So think of it like you're charging up, get ready to go into a combo. And if an enemy comes at you, dodge a specific way away from them. And this will keep your combos up way higher. If you're messing around guarding everything, you're going to deplete your CC, and I wouldn't even recommend free running at all. Like most Tales games, it is nice to free run around the environment, but I would step around, right? Sidestep, guard, and then move like that. I wouldn't really move around the arena with free run. The next tip is your titles are very important, much more important than just leveling up normally like you would in an RPG. You'll notice they have a bunch of skills, stat buffs, and all that sort of thing. So I'm going to give kind of like 2 mini tips in this number 9 spot, and one of them is get the first 3 abilities. It's going to be pretty easy to get enough SP to get your first 3 abilities, and then after that, it's going to take a lot longer. So get the first 3, move on to the next title. Get the first 3, move on to the next title. And at the same time, make sure you're leveling up different titles. You don't want to stay on one for too long unless you're trying to get a very specific move at the end of it. And then the other little tip for this is I would prioritize arts. Everything just feels smoother when you have an arsenal of more moves and arts at your disposal. So look for the titles that are going to give you new arts to use and try to go for those first. The number 8 tip is look for weaknesses. If you hold R1 or your right trigger on whatever system you're playing, it's going to scan the enemies. I would do this most of the time, but you really don't have to unless you're having trouble. But if you're smacking the enemy's weakness, you're going to be getting more CC back. And again, we always want our CC up. And then you're also going to go into a timed damage bonus. It's just going to give you more damage after you hit their weakness for a short amount of time. So that is very important. I wholeheartedly recommend scanning your enemies, especially if you're having trouble with an enemy or boss. The number 7 tip, and this goes for a lot of Tales games, but I think it's really important in this game, and it's mid-battle swapping. And what I mean by that is changing characters in the middle of battle. Now, you don't have to learn every character, but for example, let's say Shiria is in there and you're never using your caster, right? You like to play Asbel or a melee user. Well, if everyone's starting to go down and Shiria is not healing or reviving properly, even after tuning the AI to do what you want, it's still always better to swap over to her real quick and do it. So lots of times, like let's say Asbel is about to die or is dead, then I will switch over to Shiria and run her ass out into cover and then revive or do whatever I need to do. That helps a lot more and will always get it done faster than waiting for the AI, even after tuning it. The number 6 tip, and this might vary, but I really think it's a good one. Bosses in this game have like an invisible stagger meter. After hitting them enough times, they're gonna stagger and you could combo them. Now, you have a lot of arts where it'll take a bunch of CC and you'll do like a slower, heavier move or a move that looks more crazy. This is better for mob battles. When you're fighting a boss, try to do lower CC costing arts and basically hit them as many times as you can. And when they're gonna attack, sidestep. So I really do recommend with bosses, try to hit them with smaller arts as much and as fast as possible, and then it's gonna get them into that stagger state. And then you could use higher CC costing arts to do more damage. The number 5 tip is with CC again. Now, this is very important for the entirety of this combat system because that's how you send out all your moves. You're going to have A arts and B arts. A arts are almost like your normal combos, but they're varied a little bit, right? And they can juggle a lot more. You can kind of just smack the enemy around. When you go to your B arts, those are your more powerful moves that are slower and again take more time. So always pay attention to your CC because you want a few left over to sidestep, aka perfect dodge. So some things that are good are like using A arts to get the enemy into a combo, and then if your teammate comes over, start smacking them, wait a second or guard, and you'll start getting CC up again, and then you can continue it. You basically want to get into a flow where your CC is staying at a number or keep raising, so you can keep the combo going but also have some left over to keep dodging. The fourth tip is honestly pretty simple, and if you know JRPGs, you'll know this is important. Check your shops always when you go into new towns, because they'll probably have new gear and things like that. And there is a system called duelizing in this game, and the name itself might make it sound more confusing, but it's really not. You're just mixing different items or materials to create new items or materials. So this is good. Always check if you could add some really good stats to your weapons or create things like that. So I would always check your shop menu for new items and your duelizing menu to see what you can make. This will matter more though towards the third half and end of the game. The third tip is utilize your Eleth Mixer. Now, usually people, again, they look at the name and they're like, I don't know what all this is, too many buttons, I'm not even going to deal with it, but it's very important. Basically, any item that you've ever had, even if you don't have any more of it in your inventory, you can place in the Eleth Mixer, and it's going to generate these items for you based on a percentage chance for specific items. You could put food dishes in there that will activate either in battle or after battle, and keep in mind, the higher you put an item on the list, the more it's going to prioritize it. And then you just need Eleth, like whatever the number is that you have at the moment, which will level up as you go through the game. You just got to go to shops or inns and basically pay a price to refill your Eleth. You know how I talked about duelizing earlier? That's basically how you're going to mix and match and create new items. This is also how you create food dishes, and that's very important because every time a food dish activates, it's going to give some XP to increase how much Eleth you could have. It's going to make the number bigger so you could put more things in there and use more things. So I would definitely put some recipes and food dishes in there, preferably ones that will last through battle, you know, because if you do one that's like, oh, when you get KO'd, you have more strength. Well, you got to wait until you get KO'd, so it's not going to level it up as fast, right? There will be some where it's like get a multi-hit combo, and that's a good one to use because you're going to get that a lot through your battles. So it'll always be proccing a dish, which is going to keep giving you XP. And then for early game, I honestly just suggest putting in life bottles, peach gels, just like the good items, but the ones that are not too rare, and it will just keep producing those, which will also level up the slots it has. It'll let you do more items all at one time into the Eleth. But keep in mind, both of these things take a long time to level up. So I would just say, just keep an eye on it, right? You don't have to totally grind it unless you want to, or you're going for the platinum, but definitely try to put some recipes in there that will help you in battle, but also give you some XP towards your Eleth. The number 2 tip is basically use a variety of arts while you're in battle, because doing that is going to level it up and help your titles and help you master titles. And again, once you master a title, make sure to go on to another one. But it's good to use a bunch of different arts. Now, if you're in a battle or boss that requires specific weaknesses and stuff like that, definitely set your arts to where you're doing the most weakness damage and longest combo. But at the same time, when you're kind of in the beginning of the game where you have a bunch of new arts, use them a lot just for the hell of it, because it's going to be leveling it up in a way, and that is really helpful and will get your titles completed way faster. And again, titles are way more important than your actual levels in this game. And the final tip is a really small one. It basically has to do with the remastered edition of Tales of Graces F specifically, and it's like the menu and new options. So now you could turn off encounters, so you don't even need unholy bottles unless you're using them to duelize and mix with other items. So you could literally go on turn off battles. Also, if you raise the difficulty, even just for a little bit, you're going to be getting more XP towards your characters and more SP. So you could do this if you're just grinding and then put it back to normal mode. And also, just in general, you want it to be comfortable, right? So the remaster has button mapping. So make your combos or your block or whatever on any button that you want that feels most comfortable, and also set the camera settings to basically see everything on the field, or basically what is going to be most comfortable to you. And those are 10 Tales of Grace's F remastered tips I think will help out any beginner and even some players who are coming back for a second run after all these years. Again, I absolutely love Tales of Grace's F. It's one of my favorite Tales games, and I wanted to get out a guide to basically help any new players. So let me know if this video helped you out at all. Let me know any criticism, if I can improve my combat guides or anything like that. And I hope you guys have a fantastic time playing Tales of Grace's. I'll see you very soon in the next video. Peace.